Alright, so perhaps you've heard, you've got leadership potential. Well, today I'm going to give you some solid reasons why maybe you've got leadership potential, but leadership actually might not be for you. I'm Nikki and have over 18 years experience in leadership. I offer a clear roadmap to help you strategically build your leadership career and secure your ideal role. And perhaps that's not in leadership. So let's explore those reasons why it might not be the right fit for you. And if you get any value out of this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. So why might you not want to be in leadership? First thing, you might actually already love what you do. Perhaps you're a lawyer and you love it and you've got the potential to be promoted into a management role where you're leading other lawyers. Just remember, it is a promotion. However, it's also a substantial change from your role. If you love the work that you're doing now, that does not necessarily mean you're going to love being in leadership. Second reason you might not love it is that there are some difficult conversations to be had. If you avoid conflict, feel sick when you think about talking about something to somebody else where you're pulling them up on behaviour or actions or whatever, you might not love being in a leadership role. It takes a bit of grit to face up to individuals who are doing the wrong thing, or perhaps with all best intentions are doing the right things but in the wrong way, or perhaps they're just not performing to your expectations. There's a lot of difficult conversations and a lot of different variations of those difficult conversations. And if you're not ready for that, it can really impact your day or your week or your year. You also need to think about how you cope if you're in the position of having to make people redundant. If all of this makes you feel sick, then you may need to have a wee think about your leadership aspirations. Having hard conversations and making difficult decisions can be all in a day's work. Number 3 is that you're going to be held to a different set of standards. In your job right now, if you're not in leadership, you'll know that you can be friends with people around you, you can have jokes, you can moan a bit about your boss, you can probably be a little less intense, a little less professional. The standards are just a little different. As a supervisor, you better be the last one talking negatively about your boss in the workplace. You definitely can't talk about that person that you actually can't stand, who now actually reports to you. You'll need clear boundaries, standards and expectations, as everyone will be watching you, which is a rather uncomfortable reality, which I've done a video about linked on your screen. Number 4 is that you'll need to be able to influence people. When you're an employee, you get told, this is your work, these are the tasks, this is what you need to get done. When you transition to leadership, you have a choice. You can just tell everyone what to do and suffer the consequences, or, and in my view, a better way, you'll need to influence others, which means you'll need to have rather high emotional intelligence. All of that unsaid, subtle behaviour, body language, conversation, picking up how people are really feeling, knowing when things are about to go off the rails just from the tone of voice. This is all really important to know if you want to influence as a leader. I've done a video on building your emotional intelligence in leadership roles, which is linked on your screen. But if you feel that perhaps you don't have a high level of emotional intelligence, or you find communicating with others just downright awkward, you may have a little bit of a challenge with leadership. Number 5 is one that some people can have a pretty hard time swallowing. If you're a good leader, you will get none of the credit of the good work. Oh, and spoiler alert, you'll also get the blame when it isn't good work. I say this because a bad leader will take all the credit for the work of the team. A good leader will say, I couldn't have done it without you, so-and-so contributed X and Y. A bad leader will say, yeah, look at me. And on the flip side, a bad leader will also blame everybody when things go wrong, whereas a good leader will just stand there and take the hit and say, yep, should have been more onto it. Also, you got to keep all that annoyance to yourself too. You can't be going back to your team and saying, wow, my boss just really told me off. Number 6 is meetings. If you don't like meetings, and yeah, I don't know that I really like meetings either, but I am prepared to have them. There are a lot of meetings in leadership. Some of them completely unnecessary. Some of them you will have control over, where you can cut them down. You can reduce the time, you can make them really specific. You can say, no, we actually don't need to meet about this, I'll just have an email. But on the flip side, there'll be a whole lot of meetings that you actually just have to go to represent your team, to represent your industry. You might not like them, they could be really boring, but you're actually going to have to listen too, because often it is during these meetings where you'll end up picking up information or intel on things that you actually really need to know for your job. Now, I can be really ruthless about meetings in terms of how long they take and the structure. Check out the video, but sometimes you're just not in control of these. You're going as a participant, or you could even be going because you just need to ensure that you're building connection with your team. And this is one of the mechanisms. So if you don't like listening, talking, communicating, presenting, and doing all of that in a meeting, leadership might not be for you. The 7th reason you might not want to go into leadership is that it's really hard to switch off. You can find yourself taking work home, both physically and mentally. There could be a project that you absolutely have to finish because it's due the next day and you've just run out of time. There could be phone calls that you have to take because it's an emergency. Or it could just be that you're in a tough spot and you can't stop thinking about a problem. This is something that you can work through with good boundaries, systems, and expectations. But it is something to think about, as when things are crazy at work, you sometimes end up working at home too. And if you hate that idea, you might hate leadership. The 8th reason you might not want to get into leadership is because it's not a right now thing. Perhaps you're not at the time of your life where you can actually juggle learning a leadership role and your own personal life. However, if this is the case and you have been offered the opportunity of a promotion or have an indication that others may consider you leadership potential, you don't have to shut the door completely. There's nothing wrong with saying, actually, I've got a few other things that I'm going to work through first, and then I'm going to come back to you. And that could be in a year's time. It could be never. This video could have completely put you off the whole thing. That's not the point of the video though. It's about giving you the reality of what it can be like, particularly if you're just not quite ready for leadership. But if it hasn't completely put you off, and you're still keen to get your first leadership role or that promotion, check out the videos linked on your screen, and thanks very much for watching.